I was a fourth grade teacher at Raleigh Court Elementary School, and we'd just been doing our normal thing. Kind of knew some big rains were coming, but didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. Because Roanoke, it is what it is. But on that particular day of the water rising, the principal came into my classroom, or all of our classrooms, and said, "You guys, we're shutting school down. The buses are coming. You guys need to go home." So that's pre-cell phone time. So I called my husband, who worked at the Kroger bakery, got him, and he said, "Well, that we've been told we have to stay here." And I can't remember the exact location of where he was as far as the building, but I know that there was water around them. But they baked bread, so they were going to be in high production, in case people had to stay home or whatever. And so I got in the car and I started driving towards Salem, I lived in the Cherokee Hills subdivision. I have 3 children. 2 of them were at Glenvar Elementary School. One was a kindergartner and one was a first grader. And then I had an 18-month-old baby that was in a private home for daycare up in Salem. So as I'm driving down Main Street in Salem going towards, I was going to go pick my children up and take them home. And then I met someone, it was another parent that said, "Oh, you can't go to Glenvar. They won't let you up there." So we've been told that the kids are safe, everybody's safe, but they're not releasing any students, and they're not bringing buses in, and they're not letting parents come, and they're not, it is. Well, it turns out that the kids had to spend the night there at the school. So that was interesting. But I knew they were safe. So I thought, well, I'll go get my 18-month-old baby. And as I came up towards that area, I noticed that the road was just massive water. Not just a trickle. It was a lot of water. But something about the mother kicked in with me, because I looked up on the hill. There's a little incline, and I looked up there and I could see the babysitter's house, and the water was already up to her front door. I could see that, so it scared me, and I could, no cell phones, couldn't call her, didn't know what to do. So I found a dry area, a little strip mall on Main Street that was way up off of the water area, and I drove up there, and I parked my car, got out, and started walking down the hill, and walked right into that water with the intention of going across the water to get to my baby. So I'm a non-swimmer. I'm very much afraid of water, and so this was a big deal for me, So I'm treading through the water. Slowly it's getting to, chest high on me. And it's fairly, rapid. It was going pretty quick. But I knew I was going to get up there and get my baby and then trudge back to my car and make it home. And as I'm about halfway across, I hear this man yelling at me, and he's going, "Lady, stop. Stop, lady, stop." But I was determined, so I just kept on going. And the next thing I know, he comes up behind me and grabs hold of my arm, and he was a firefighter. He dressed in all of his gear, and he looked at me and he said, "What are you doing?" And I started sobbing. I said, "My baby's at that house up there. I have to go get her." And he said, "You do realize that with water like this, the manhole covers could have popped up. There was gook down there, it was all nasty and everything." He said, "You could slip and fall." He said, "I hope you're a good swimmer." I said, "Well, I don't know how to swim." So it felt like an eternity that we stood there and just looked at each other like, what are we going to do? Because here I am in water up to my chest. and he just didn't know. So he said, okay, here's the plan. He said, I'm gonna take you by the arm, walk you over there. We're gonna walk up to her door, knock on the door, and try to get your daughter. So we did that. And when the babysitter came to the door, her eyes were as wide as saucers, because not only did she have mine, but she had two others. And so the firemen then had a new problem. You know, what are we gonna do about, once I get Deb across the water, what are we gonna do? So he explained to her, that what he would do was, if she would hand carry my daughter to him, he would carry her on his shoulder, give the diaper bag and all the bottles and everything to me. I would carry that on my shoulder, and he would help me get back across the water. And he did that. And we were both young. I mean, I was 32 at the time. He was probably even younger than that, but it was quite the moment, I will say. And gosh, I don't even know who he was, but he helped me in that time. And then as he got me back to my car, and I was muddy but I was so thankful to be out of that. And then they kind of guided me and told me where to go, take some back roads to try to get to my house so I wouldn't be confronted with that again. So I made it home. But he turned around and he went back and helped the other, helped that lady somehow. I'm not sure what he ended up doing, but he helped her. And so, it was a good story, but boy, it was scary. It was super scary. And then the next morning, Glenvar Elementary let the buses come, and the water receded by that point to where they could make the trip up the hill. And so parents were, obviously knocking on their door wanting to get their kids, but everything turned out fine. And then about, 5 or 6 o'clock that next day after my adventure, my husband came home from work, and see, he knew nothing about what I had done the day before. And of course he had to, wag his finger at me. What were you thinking? But it just showed that people, they really wanted to help one another. That's all it really amounted to, because everybody was scared. We didn't know what to expect. So that was, and I see that memory like it happened yesterday. So for me, it was very impactful.